Why I chose this subject this morning was last year when I published the book Resolving from Within. When I wrote that book, I started posting some elements on LinkedIn, and one colleague came up with a really good question. She said, like, if you could distill everything that's in the book in one tip, what would it be? So it took me 2 days to answer that. And I came back with presence. Like, if you can take anything from this book, from the message I'm sharing today, is to be more present with your clients, with your clientele. Bernie yesterday in the morning, he said, you know, people that come to us, they're not looking for neutrality. They're not looking for impartiality. They're looking for a human to connect with. And then a little bit later in the afternoon, we're talking about AI, and the main thing that came out was that AI can support us in many, many ways, but it cannot replace us because it doesn't have the human part of it. So my invitation this morning starts with what I thought would be an unpopular opinion, but then I noticed that everybody's talking about it already. So it's that practitioners who engage with their own conflicts, so when they spend time to dealing with their own conflicts, will do better work, will offer more presence to their clients than practitioners who avoid their own conflicts. And today I'm going to invite you on a really quick journey to demonstrate and to confirm that you have everything in you to level up, to address your own conflicts and serve your clients better. A quick different side-by-side comparison when we are too technical and when we are human-centered. So it happened to me now a couple of years ago that I was leading a mediation between a man and a woman right after a harassment process had found well, in that case, the man, the allegations were founded, and it was sexually oriented, so, you know, comments and looks and whatever. And for me, that's a situation that's usually really triggering for me. And at that time, 2 years ago, I thought, like, how do I deal with that? You know, in pre-mediation, the man was sharing what he had done. He was like, you know, he was feeling like shame and guilt and whatever. But still, it was really triggering for me. And the woman sharing her stories and the impact and everything. And I thought, like, how am I going to deal with that to bring them together and go anywhere with that? 2 years ago, my thought was, I'm going to double down on the process. I'm going to be super professional, like a block of ice, and I'm just going to guide them. We're going to do the conversation. And so I thought, like, okay, like that's going to be my choice. That's going to be like, I'm going to focus on being the best practitioner I can be, neutral, impartial, you know, like just I'm going to be perfect, professionally perfect, and that's going to help both parties. You know, we'll see what happens. I got some feedback. The mediation went okay. It was just like kind of, you know, a little bit of a back and forth, and they were both prepared to hear each other. So it was okay. But then I got feedback from each of them, and none of the parties felt supported. Both parties felt that because I was well, the man said that I was cold in my approach. He thought that I was on the other side. I was leaning more towards the woman's side. And then the woman, because I showed no feelings, she thought that I was protecting the man. And I thought, how interesting is that? That I give it my best shot, I'm super professional, and it completely falls flat. And then I started understanding it's because I got in the room super triggered, and my defense, or the way I chose to deal with that, was to hide behind my professionalism and not be human at all. And it didn't work. Oh well. So I learned from it, and now I want to share with you, which is kind of a really quick journey, and following what Brenda guided us through. It's really fitting. I want to share with you a quick journey to explore that and what is possible in our practices. So, first question that I have for you: where are you right now? Are you fully present? Are you here in the room? Or are you already thinking about the next presentation? Or are you thinking like, oh, here we go, he's going to do like a personal development, conflict coaching thing? Is there some resistance, or are you fully open? The 7 levels of conflict resolution that the book Resolving from Within, the first level is space. And it's really logic that we're not going to bring two people together if they don't feel safe in mediations and discussion or anything. So we need to think about the physical space. Is it safe to be in here in this moment? And the psychological space. So are both parties and ourselves ready to engage in that conversation? 2 years ago, with that man and woman in mediation, I was not ready. I was not feeling safe heading into that discussion. So what happened? I hid behind my professionalism, and I said, like, I'm going to be a block of ice just to get through that. So I ended up, like I shared, not serving either party in that situation. So the second question is, now that we confirmed that you are here physically and psychologically, you passed the test from the slides. When you're in a challenging situation, so professionally, let's go professionally first. When you're in a challenging situation, who shows up? When you're in a tough conflict situation, who shows up? Your best trained self, to be professional, to be fully, well, maybe not a block of ice like I was 2 years ago, but to lean onto your processes and say, like, the more I do a good job, the more my clients will be served? Or is it the human part that you're bringing into your situation, to bring into your processes? So a human person, vulnerable, present, emotional. Are you giving yourself the opportunity to have emotions, to react? What is the main message in that is that if you're leaning too much on your processes, you end up usually, and I say you, I'm going to include myself because I did that for years and years, we end up not serving anybody fully. We do lead processes, we do, have a good record. I've never been a lawyer, but for me, when I started doing conflict coaching and mediations, for me it was about a good mediation was when the outcome was what I thought it should be. That was the success that I was measuring myself by. Now it's different. There is a danger that if we hide behind our professionalism and our certificates and our diplomas and everything, we're missing the real reason why people come to us. Like Bertie said yesterday, people don't come to us based on the degrees that we have on the wall. They come to us for a connection. They want to feel heard. They want to feel supported. When I launched my company 20 years ago, I thought I would get like a wave of clients because I had a bunch of certifications. I was a master practitioner in NLP. I was a professional coach. I was this, I was that. And through the years, I realized that all of the clients that hired me never asked about my credentials. And every single person that asked about my credentials never hired me. So I thought it took me a few years to understand that. But then I realized, okay, it's because they're not coming for the diplomas and the certificates. You know, makes sense, but it took me several years to catch that. Same situation that you thought of when I asked you who is coming in the room. Same situation now, but what do you already know about that situation that might be exactly what is needed? Something that you didn't let yourself think, that you didn't speak up, that you're thinking like, okay, maybe this party needs to understand a little bit. I need to go deeper in that party, with that party. But you didn't go there out of professionalism. I cannot let myself feel those emotions, because then they'll know that, you know, I'm taking sides. I'm not neutral. I'm not impartial. I can't say what I really think because, you know, that would be improper. So what comes up, and I'm not asking for any answers, that's for you, it's private. What comes up when you think about those situations? That answer that you got, that came up about that situation, that up until now you may not have let yourself think it or say it, that doesn't come from your training. You cannot train presence and intuition into a practitioner. That comes from showing up fully. And that answer, that little bit that resonated in the last question, that's what your clients are wanting. They won't express it like that, but that's what they want. That's the human part, the presence, the listening, the understanding that you bring to the situation. The most powerful instrument that we can offer our clients is us. It's who we are, when we show up, how we show up, how present we are, how much are we listening, and sometimes if we're not listening. That's what we offer. We have certificates, diplomas, trainings, all the stuff that gives us tools to help our clients, to guide our clients. But the clients, and I had that recently with a coaching client, I was constantly bringing in different perspectives, tools, and all that stuff. And the client told me, like, that's not what I want. Like, stop with the tools. I'm not hiring you because I want more tools. I want to get stuff done. I want to lean into what resonates between us to be able to get to the next level. And I thought like, again, I'm not fully present. I'm there. I was there in that coaching session for the outcome. Like Brenda shared just before, I was focused on the outcome. So the actual presence and actually helping my client the way he wanted to be supported was not present. So keep that in mind, that the best tool, if we can call it that, the best element that you can bring to your clients, to a conversation, to a situation, is you. More presence, more listening, more human-centeredness, to be there with your clients. That's what they want. So then, to come back to the beginning, to the premise, the idea is that the more we the more we address our conflicts, the more we can get our stuff out of the way and be more humanly present for our clients. Whatever conflict you are carrying, it has an inner dimension worth exploring. That's the invitation that I have for you today. It's an invitation for a challenge to explore your own conflicts. It's free. It's I can put the link in the chat for the people online. And the deeper invitation for me, and that's why I am deeply grateful and pleasantly surprised that the subject has been present for the 2 days of the symposium, is that our clients want our humanity, and we cannot be fully present if we're carrying our own stuff into the room when we're helping them, when we're there with them. So the invitation is to be a little more present, a little more human, a little better listener, a little better supporter, by addressing our own stuff first, so then when we show up, we're fully present. Thank you. The word that comes to mind is awareness. And it's just to be a little more aware of the limitations, like Bernie was sharing yesterday morning, the limitations that we put on ourselves by labeling us a certain way. And I know in the last couple of days we've been talking a lot about neutrality and impartiality. And what does that exactly mean, to be neutral? And if I am 100% neutral, if that is even possible, what am I actually offering, and what am I missing? So I think that by asking ourselves some questions, sometimes the questions might be a bit destabilizing, sometimes it might be confirming, reassuring, but each time that we put ourselves in question and we look at what we're actually doing and what we're actually offering and who our clients are, like Brenda was sharing in her presentation, when she noticed that, going from the process to the actual people that have been harmed during the events, then we're getting a little more awareness of how we can play a bigger part in the restorative process, or in any process that we're offering. So I would start with that, questioning our own perspective, our own positions, our own labels, to be a little more aware. I have a belief that everything happens for a reason, and everything that I did or did not do in the past brought me here today, so I wouldn't change anything. But to answer the question, I think I would work on myself much more, go much deeper, and to explore and reveal my unconscious biases much earlier on. At that time, I did what I thought was best with what I had, but it's definitely, looking back at it, I can see that I was not at my best at that moment. So I would do the work that I did in the last 2 years. I would do it 2 years prior to then be at my best at that moment.